So it looks like it is time to get married. Oh, given that on my channel, most of the viewers are men, male demographic, and majority are Indians. And out of that, there are a lot of youngsters who tend to see my videos and they want to ask questions, especially if you lack a father figure or um, you don't have a very close bond with your parents and you want somebody to guide you or answer questions. So typically people, they check YouTube, they read articles online, but then I guess you really want someone to give you their perspective. So I got this question from, people who watch my YouTube channel. When is the right time to get married? That was one. And the second one was, uh, which is better, arranged or love? Okay, I can understand the confusion because I have been in your shoes and I know what it is. Okay, it's a very legit question. It's not something to be made fun of. And no, there are no straightforward answers. Like, I do get some of our youngsters who like to post on under the comments, hey, marriage is for sims, enjoy, have fun, be an alpha male, or just enjoy life, man. Who the hell wants to get married? And marriage is for losers. Look, all this sounds very macho. All this sounds very nice. All this sounds like, yeah, we are in control of our lives and all that. But that's not the way to answer a question or to come to a conclusion. Okay. You need to really understand why. Okay. Why should you get married or not get married? Now, I'm not going to start giving you a lecture on ethics, morals, and all that. I'm the last person who should be doing that. But I'll give you my perspective. Feel free to comment and let me know what do you think. Okay. Now, and this advice is primarily for men. Okay. And it can be specifically for my target audience, which is Indian men. Okay. The reason being is majority are Indians and, from India who watch my channel. So if you're in the West, it'll maybe not be valid for you. And if you're a girl, maybe this is not at all appropriate for you. So it's very specific Indian men, young Indian men or Indian men. Fine. So when you want to get married, okay, when you want to get married, or when people ask me about marriage, I first straight away ask them, why do you want to get married? Like, it's a very straightforward question. Why do you want to get married? And people generally give all these nice sounding statements. Oh, I want a companion, I want a friend, I want someone who I can come back home to. It feels good to have your soulmate. All this sounds very nice. Soulmate. Instead of soulmate, it should be whole mate. I know that's very rude. Okay. All this sounds very romantic and nice and decent. And then I tell them, see, listen, just stop the rubbish, the goody goody, two shoes, romantic bullshit about companion and this and that. Let's talk man to man and just tell me why the fuck you want to get married, boss. Just tell me. And then when you probe and dig further and and remove all that bullshit about being decent and companion and love and soul and mate and this and that, then from soulmate it becomes the soul is gone and mating starts. So then they clearly say, I'm lonely. Very good. I congratulate them when they start telling me the truth. I'm lonely. Yes. And then almost always, it comes down to sexual needs, sexual frustration, and sexual requirements. Okay. Most of the men, especially Indian men, they cannot get a female. Like in my videos, I say it sometimes in a very crude and rude fashion. I say putang, the pusa, the tropical fruit and all that. And there is a reason why I say that, because when you're young, you are definitely, you have a lot of testosterone, you have a lot of sexual libido. You want to satisfy yourself. It is very evident. It's it's very normal, it's very natural. And given that today porn is so easily available, there are so many, even social media, Meta, Facebook, Instagram, so much of sex or soft porn or sexual innuendos or sexual videos or adult based content is floating around. So obviously, it triggers those feelings. It triggers, memories and moments. And why do you think so many young men are addicted to sex or porn or masturbation or self pleasure or you know? So out of that frustration, because they are tired of looking at a computer screen, because they are tired of chatting, having sex chat. Some of them even spend money to chat with other females out of utter frustration. So finally, it comes down to, instead of doing all that, let me just find a girl and, satisfy myself. Every day I come at home, I don't have to impress her. Just, she can be my sexual partner. I'll satisfy her. She'll satisfy me. Now, although this kind of logical, solution sounds good, but keep in mind, marriage, I'm being very upfront with you here. You should not get married for sex. Okay. The problem with our Indian society is you can't be with a girl. Uh, it's not a fashion statement. It's not accepted so easily. It is a very serious problem. I mean, if you're staying in a joint family, you're staying with your mother and father. You respect them. You have fear of your parents, not as a simp or anything, but you genuinely respect your parents. You honor them. You can't bring a girl to the house and say, "Hey, mom and dad, this is my girlfriend," or you can't take her to your room and say, "Mom, dad, I want privacy. We are just going to have some time here. We're going to have sex." It's very obvious why you're bringing the girl to your room and locking up the door. Even when I was earning and staying with my parents for a brief period of time, bringing a girl to the house, they don't like it. They just basically don't like it, especially if you are typical Indian parents with the Indian mentality. Okay, Indian upbringing, Indian culture, whatever. This just live-in partners is still looked down upon by Indian society, and it's not accepted. Especially the ones who are married, who are old timers, who are traditionalistic. Like they'll start gossiping, wagging their tongues, and yuck, look at them, hi Ram, this is the way today's generation, blah blah blah. They'll go on. So, which is why many young men and young women prefer to work in industries where they stay away from home or they move to a different city. Why do you think so many young men and women want to join cabin crew? The freedom of traveling, the freedom of being away from home, the freedom of not having those eyes of society and parents. You can book a hotel room and just have open sex and live that Western lifestyle. And remember, the Western way of life is of not requiring to follow cultural norms, religion, or care about society. They just want to be free, like open-minded, as they call it. So the first part, which I always ask people, is why do you want to get married, man? Boss, be honest. And it always comes down to loneliness and sexual, needs, requirements, frustrations. So that is one. Now let's assume that you don't have a choice. Okay, I don't have a choice. I'm staying with my parents. I can't leave them. Now, am I going to be single forever? Am I going to keep watching Pornhub and using my hands to satisfy myself? Where is the respite? Where is the relief? Am I going to do this for the rest of my life? So obviously they do have no other choice but to get married. Okay, fine. That has happened. Then what happens next? Yeah, see, when you get married initially, honeymoon phase, happy, everyone happy, your parents happy, other girl's parents happy, or whatever. If it is a arranged marriage or mutually agreed upon marriage. But then here starts the problems. After the sex and all the orgasms and all the, oh, I love you and this and that, when it becomes a routine, sex becomes a normal routine, then the responsibilities start ganging up on you. It shines the bright lights right in your face. Okay, one is okay. What about the money? What about the future? What about savings? What about the needs and requirements? Let's say you both get married. Um, there is more to life than just sex, right? Yeah. Let's say simple things like, okay, you want to go for a holiday. Okay. Now, before you could go maybe single. Now you have to go with your wife. Okay. Then comes, you want to go to, let's say, Thailand, for example. You want to go to Thailand or Bali. She wants to go to pilgrimage to, pray and whatever. Yeah, I'm just giving example. Not that girls are saints. Or let's say you want to go to Europe and she wants to go to some other country. Then, are you going to be happy about it? Differences of opinions. I'm giving you simple. Second one is she wants to save money. You want to spend money. There also can be an issue. You're earning more, she is earning less. Then what do you do? How much do you save? How much do you spend? Do you both have a joint account? And if you have a joint account, do you need to take a permission? Does she need to take your permission? Can you just spend whatever you like? Can she spend whatever she likes? I mean, what if she disagrees? What if you disagree? These are the questions that come into play, especially after marriage, which people don't think about. Like, are you going to keep separate bank accounts, or are you going to keep bank accounts together? Will you allow her to work? If she doesn't work, are you going to bring the salary? What if it's not enough? What if her father, mother were able to give her a better life than you're giving? See, because mother and father, they really take care of their children. They give a lot more. They are selfless. Okay. So they will expect a particular standard, right? Like my daughter, I give her, even though she is Thai, even though they are from the village, I give them a very modern, like a foreigner lifestyle. My daughter literally can go purchase every single day from 7-Eleven, which most of the Thais, it's like upper middle class and upper middle class. Like she literally purchases every single day. The chocolates or toys that only, let's say, a foreigner gives her children. Like, I'm not talking of premium upper class, like very rich, expensive stuff. It's normal stuff, but for the local Thai people, it's too expensive. In fact, when my daughter and my wife were in the village, my daughter, I think in 6 months, only went twice or thrice to 7-Eleven, and she was not able to purchase any of the chocolates or things in 7-Eleven because it was way beyond their budget. I'd given them strictly a budget to manage. So they could not. And the day I finally told my daughter, okay, you can buy whatever you like, she went and purchased every single chocolate, even the ones she didn't like. Why? Because finally she realized the value of it. Now, when she's with me, she's even ready to buy chocolates for her friends. Like, she'll share. But if she didn't have, she wouldn't share. So, can you afford that kind of lifestyle where you both are happy? Or do you both have to make sacrifices? And then comes, I think, the biggest challenge for both of you is maturity levels. Are you mature? Is she mature? Or are you both immature? Or, do you both consider yourself mature? And if you consider yourself mature, let's say, yeah, I have at least I'm far more mature than most. My next question to you is, okay, how much have you experienced of life? What have you experienced of it? It's very easy to say it's not the years or the number in your years, it's a quality or experience. Shut up, man. Someone who's 65 or someone who's 70 has seen the whole gamut, all the colors, all the experiences of life. You cannot claim in your 20s or 30s, oh, I have experienced all. Shut up. Just shut up. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you want. You're still discovering all of this. Just imagine, like, after you get married, uh, it puts a dent. It puts a stop into so many activities that you want to do. See, when you're single, you can go and sleep around with so many girls. You can go for a holiday without giving a damn. You can purchase a first class ticket instead of going economy. You can eat in a five-star hotel. You can literally, go to say the red light district and enjoy yourself, or you can take a holiday without caring about anyone. Let's say you don't want to work for 2 months. You just want to take a meditation or leave, and you can do all that when you're single. Can you do that when you're married? You can't. You just can't. You can't say, wife, I'm going for 6 months. Give me, give me that space. And talking about space, when you're single, now, right now, I'm in my room. I have my books. I have my computer. I have my toys. I have my gimmicks, whatever. Okay. I'm nearly going in my 50s. My wife is giving me all the space that I need, all the privacy that I need. Why? Because I'm earning. I'm the boss of the house. I'm earning. I'm taking care of them. And I keep them very, very happy. And they know when I have work, it takes, priority, precedence over everything else. Okay. I have that level of maturity where I know how to handle them. I have the money. I have the means to give them a standard of living where they don't have any complaints. When you're young, can you afford to do that? In fact, if your wife is not mature, do you think she will approve? Like, let's say, for instance, you say, I want to be alone in my room. I want to chat or I want privacy. Do you think your wife is going to be very happy with that? Like, she'll wonder, like, what is he doing in his room? Who's he chatting with? Why does he want to be alone? So many doubts are there. And let's say, if you say, no, 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 she should give me. What if your wife says, I want to be alone in my room. I want to chat privately. I need my privacy. I need my space. Are you going to allow that and say, yeah, yeah, sure, sweetheart. You can chat with whom you like. You can have your privacy, your secrecy. For example, if I ask you, are you comfortable giving all your social media passwords to your partner? Are you so trustworthy? Do you trust your partner so much that you can allow her to literally look, read, and process all the information in your social media, including maybe your sex chats or your private stuff, or, browse through what nobody knows? I can challenge you openly. You will not be comfortable. You will not want to share your passwords. You'll say, no, we should maintain a certain degree of privacy and we should have a space. And all. You'll give all sort of theories. And I'm not saying you're wrong. But then if those are your terms and conditions, don't you think she will have her terms and conditions? You can say, no, she should be obedient. Boss, she's not a dog. Okay, she's not a dog. She's not your dog. And you can only suffocate a person so much until a point where they'll just explode and say, fuck this, man. There are many men or guys who say, no, I want a submissive female. Boss, if you get a submissive female in today's day and age, okay, and she loves you, and she's a good charactered woman, and she's mature, and she doesn't have any skeletons in the closet, and she has a very good conscience, boss, God has given you 1 in 8 billion. You're the rare specimen. My wife, okay, she has all my passwords. I have all her passwords. She has access to all my bank accounts. I have access to all her bank accounts. Anyway, there's nothing in her bank account. Okay. She gives me all the privacy I need. I give her all the privacy she needs. I literally trust her blindly. Okay? Almost blindly. But, trust but verify. Don't be too trusting. Like, I can't give her open access to all my bank accounts without knowing where is she spending, what is she has to ask me permission for every single cent because I'm earning. She's not earning, mind you. So she doesn't know the value. And if you Google search Loy Machedo divorce, I was nearly going to divorce her because she made one mistake in our 6-7 years of marriage. She gave a very small amount to somebody without my permission, and I was going to break off that marriage completely. But she did it impulsively out of good intention, which I've told her she should never do it again. And that is why she went to the village for 6 months and I didn't allow her to come back. And that is why I gave her a fixed income, which was less than what she's used to. And then she realized the value. I was literally going to break up. And today she regrets it more than anything in the world because The female who she gave money, she kicked her ass in the end. She didn't want to give that money back if it was not for me. Anyway, that's besides the point. You can check Loy Machedo divorce and check that out. It was a very serious problem. So, how much do you trust your partner? To what extent? And how far are you willing to go? Okay, that's another thing. And then here's another point which young men and women never ever think about. Listen, today, the person that you are, you have a certain style, you have a certain look, you have a certain feel. Okay. Do you think it's going to remain the same forever? Like in your 20s, are you going to be the same in 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60? Do you seriously think the person that you are in your 20s is going to be the same in his 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s? Like, and if you say yes, you're a dumbass. Okay. Look at your father, look at your mother, and ask them, did you look the same when you are in your 20s? Did you behave the same when you are in your 20s? Did you act the same? Did you have the same friends? Did you eat the same food? Did you do the same things? We all change from our physical, our physiology to our preferences, the food we eat, the people we hang out, the movies we watch. Everything changes every few years. The person that I was in my 20s, if you see my photographs, you'll be shocked. You'll say, no way, man, this is not Loy Machedo. In fact, if you see if you met me, even when I was nearly in my 40s, when I came down in 40s, I was still so different from the Loy Machedo there and here. I've evolved and changed so much. So tomorrow you will change. Your wife will change. She's no longer going to be the slim, sexy, young girl, untouched, that college bod that she has. She is, and if she is Indian, she's going to put on weight. My wife who's Thai, even though her genetics are much more better than an Indian's, okay, they don't put on weight that easy. She's still putting on weight. You can see the tires, okay. She herself tells me, oh, I'm getting all these freckles. I'm getting this thing. I'm looking puffy. She's no longer the girl I met when I saw her first time. She was hardly, I think, 48 kilos or something. She was very skinny. Now she is like, she has put on like 6 or 8, 7 kilos, whatever. It's not much. But after she gave birth to the baby, she's completely changed. She no longer looks like, as how she used to look before. I've changed a lot. Okay, lucky in my case, I maintained myself. So just imagine you married her when she was sexy and hot and beautiful. Now, after 10 years, she has put on 10 kilos. Now she looks like a cow. I mean, you'll be like, I don't want to. Like when you're sexy, hot, and beautiful, you don't mind doing all the Kama Sutra things. I'll go down there, I'll go up here, put it there. It's very much like a porno fest. Once they become fat and they become bloated and they become old, you'll be like, ugh, I just want to have sex and sleep. You just like, and that's how. And why do you think so many men, even who are married, especially who are married, go to these red light districts or take these sex vacations or have these secret girlfriends? Why? Because they still have unfinished business, boss. You will change. You will change mentally, physically, emotionally in every single way. And that is where your preferences change. And when that happens, you're going to look back and say, shit, man, I got married to this girl who I was in love with in my 20s, but she's not the kind who I want in my 30s. And definitely in your 40s, you'll be like, there's no fucking way I would want a girl like that. This has happened to me. When I look back at the girls I dated when I was in 20s, I'm like, oh my goodness, like what the fuck was I thinking? My wife's first so-called marriage and first love, she is so embarrassed and disgusted. She doesn't even want to talk about it. Forget even having a photograph of memory. She doesn't. She has asked me, please don't talk about it. I'm so ashamed. I'm so disgusted. Like he was like I'm not trying to, give him disrespect as a human being. But, being with me, her standards are gone so high. Like now when she looks, she's like, ee. And here's the funny thing. When she was at that age, her own people in the village said he is the scum of the earth. So imagine when she never met me and when she was living a village life, he was a scum of the earth. It was that bad. Today, she's like, so we all change. And then, finally, the other things, the other very simple things. You will, you have to sacrifice time for your career, your personal time. You will have lot of problems, new problems. Her problems will be yours. Her mother is sick. She's worried. You'll have to help out. Her father is sick. You'll have to be involved. She has to, oh, they are hospitalized and they are dying. She'll have to fly down there. You'll have to bear the expenses for it. Then, let's say she's sick. She is hospitalized. What if she gets pregnant? Then you have to manage all that. You can't wash your hands. You will have more pressure, more problems, more challenges, boss. How will you manage all that? And then, let's say, for example, there was a promotion which was available, but you had to travel to another country and you can't take your wife. Is she going to be flexible with that? Let's say you have to work for a couple of months or years. Is she going to be happy with that? And then that puts a strain on your relationship. What if you go to another country and get another girl? Or if she gets her career and she wants to move, will you allow that? Most probably you will tell her, no, sorry, you can't. So the challenges are plenty. I'm not saying that you should not get married. I'm not saying that this is the universal thing for everyone. But in today's day and age, in the day and age of social media, temptations, online relationships, where you can literally take your smartphone to the toilet and start having a sexual conversation or, just initiate a relationship by just speaking a few words. Girls can do that much more easier than guys. What if your girlfriend or your wife takes her phone and sits in the toilet for 1 hour? My wife sometimes does that. Wouldn't you think that who she's chatting with? Or is she chatting with someone? Does she have a secret account? So when you get married later, you're more mature. You have finished all that rubbish, whatever that a single, young man would want to do. You're more grounded. You're more realistic. Your expectations, you'd know, okay, I can manage this. I can afford this. And when you're older, obviously you'll earn more, so you can manage to get a better choice. So, don't you think it is better to get married later? So, yeah, I know it's very easy for me to say, especially if you're living with your parents and then you're totally alone, you're single, you're frustrated. But keep in mind, in our Indian society, once you get married, now it's to get divorced is a massive, not just a headache. Forget the legal problems, forget the court cases, forget all the challenges there. It's going to impact both of you, boss. And if you have children, boss, you don't even think about divorce because the families are not going to allow. And even if they do allow, it's going to so badly impact the children that their lives will be destroyed. Can you imagine your child being guided, disciplined, or in the arms of another individual? It will kill you, man. Come on. I know quite a number of people who so deeply regret. Like you can watch some of the movies where, like Taken, that is Liam Nielsen, his daughter. Okay, he loves his daughter very much, but she is now his wife, and his daughter live with a very rich guy. And the daughter, he tries his best to keep his daughter happy. But he is not very rich. So he buys her a karaoke machine, small one, cheap one, on her birthday. And she's like, oh, daddy, I love you. And she hugs him. But then the new stepfather, he buys her a horse because she loves a particular horse riding. She just dumps his gift and runs off to play with the horse. You feel like shit, right? So, yeah. And then when it comes to arranged marriage and love marriage, there again, the dynamics, I can make a detailed video of it, but I can tell you this much. When you get married arranged, okay, both the families are involved. There's a lot of pressure. Yes, the benefits are like you're a family, you stay as a single unit, you'll get all the support to make the marriage work. Your children will grow up and they will be loved and protected by everyone in the family. But the drawbacks are also there, where both of you have to align with the rules of the family. She will be facing additional pressure. Maybe she'll get frustrated. She will always miss her mother and father because nobody can love her as like her parents. And then, obviously, the other challenges, you don't have your privacy. They will always keep interfering. They'll always keep chirping in your ears. And, you know, so arranged marriage, love marriage, I'll make a separate video if you want. If you want, you can write it out in the comment section. But the main point which I wanted to focus on is with regards to getting married early. Getting married early is an easy fix solution if you're sexually frustrated, if you're alone, if you can't go out and get the pleasure or the companionship, or you don't have the time. Okay, getting married early will solve all these problems in the short run. Long run, after the honeymoon phase is over, which maybe can be 5 years, or say, let's be reasonable. Okay, say 10 years, 10, 15 years. Okay, and that is where your parents get very, very old, and now you are the boss of the house, and then you'll start getting distracted. Then you'll start, what more options do I have in life? And where once upon a time, the older you got, the more, grounded you became. Today, the more older you get, the more money you have, the more ways you think of reliving your youthful days. And you think to yourself, I sacrificed the best of my youthful days. I still want to enjoy. And if your testosterone count is still high, it'll cause a lot of problems. Yeah, you can keep your wife in the house, and and you can say, oh, work and this and that. But if that is the life you want to live, fine. But I can tell you this much, that if you do get married early, there are a lot of challenges and problems. Yes, it'll solve your sex, it'll solve your loneliness, it'll solve your companionship. Okay, it'll solve this. But there's a price to pay for it. It is not free. Your personal freedom, your expenses, your career, your the limitations to what you can do, you'll have to really compromise a lot on that. And yes, finally, though I don't need to add this, given today's legal landscape against young men and men, the girl can really destroy your life by taking you to court, putting up charges against you, and yes, the pressure of her family can really cause a lot of impact, which you must have never planned out for. And nowadays, you can't get divorced without giving alimony or compensating her. So keep that also in mind. So it's not free sex. Okay. All right. So this is what I wanted to share with you. And one final thing I will tell you this much is, today the Indian girls, because of social media, because of internet, because of the online opportunities, because of the world being smaller, and yes, the parents who constantly chirp in their ears, don't assume that you can get away with a female that easily. All right. Good, bad, ugly. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Love to hear what you have to say. This is me signing off. You guys take care.